Your man must have missed you while you were in Mexico.
Well, that was the flowers that I got this time were mainly because when I got back on Monday, and it's not Friday now, there hasn't been a day where some shit hasn't broken.
Okay.
But Monday, it was everything,
like first day back,
being tossed at me. This broke, this broke. Because really, I don't get to do things like look at the fun new merchandise. By the way, there is fun new merchandise.
Okay.
But I was having a moment.
Okay.
And then flowers arrived, and so they make the moment brighter.
They always do. Well, those are beautiful. Very, very lovely.
He just picks them up, and he's certainly not paying for it at Bachman's, but we put them together with the stuff that, I can't handle most lilies. They stink like hell. I know they're pretty, but I cannot handle the smell of them.
You know, it's funny. My sister hates the smell of lilies as well. I love it. Mm-hmm. But she's exactly the same way. In her mind, she associates it with hospitals and funerals, and she can't stand it.
It's just too strong.
Yeah.
My brain wants to explode.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, okay, before we dive into the, Great Northern Sexcast, news for the week, something happened. And I want to talk about this because it's, you and I here on the show have talked a lot about, identities, gender, sexual politics, gender identities and issues and for years. And, I believe, really, wouldn't you say that in the 5 years we've been doing the show, that there's been a massive amount of progress made?
Yeah, I mean...
Things have changed.
I mean, the folks that are assholes have stayed assholes, but the folks that were indifferent or care have said, okay, you want that name? Fine. Go with it. Mm-hmm. It's going through there.
Yeah.
Assholes will always be assholes.
Well, and I believe that as... we're a few years away from the legalization of gay marriage definitely here in Minnesota, but nationwide it's most, and they're more accepted, right? So now what I'm starting to see, and this is a real story, I cannot name names to protect the guilty, but now we're seeing what used to be totally protected classes becoming offenders. So there was a guy at a company, a very openly gay man, which is fine. And he had all women for his direct reports. Okay. And, I had a different relationship because he's at my level. He's a peer, but, in a different group. In fact, I clashed with him on something one time, and I stood up to him, and he was so sheepish. He was trying so hard to get back in my good graces. So I never saw this, would never have known. We see this abrupt firing. And I mean, he's only been there a couple months. So it was like,
okay,
wow, what the hell happened there, And then somebody who shouldn't have said something said that apparently he was very, very mean to his direct reports, who were all women. And I guess he called them sluts in the office.
Yeah, you don't get to do that.
And they went to HR, and he is not there anymore.
In other words, does not work and play well with others.
Clearly not. But, it's so funny because, even though we're trying to segment and protect and whatever, assholes are assholes, and they're not exclusive to white straight people. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you say? It's getting messy. All this.
It's like, okay, they're not allowed to do. I mean, the folks in power, are certainly not allowed to do it, and they're getting cut off at the knees. Weinstein, as was saying, going through there, but. You do realize that this behavior is not acceptable at all,
right?
Regardless of who's, regardless of who's doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, to some extent, some things are not. It's more about power, and if someone had power then you got a problem. You don't get to pull that shit anymore.
Well, in my group, I work in a strange, somewhat isolated group of peers. There are two women, me and another woman, and a male. And we were talking about it before we knew that there was a big confidentiality thing in place and whatever. And the guy in my group said, God, I wonder, and he's very nice and very proper guy. He goes, I wonder if he was joking and they didn't think so or whatever. He goes, you know how some people, I would never do this, call each other bitches. And I said, maybe, but I can't see this flying. And he seemed smart enough to know better than that. Like
it is not even 2015 anymore. It is 2020. You have to be pretty much clueless or don't care to treat people a certain ways. I mean, there's just no way that somebody doesn't know that this is not appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, put it this way. It's always been not appropriate, but not appropriate, and you're going to get your ass kicked for it. It's going through there.
Yeah, it was, but I was sitting there it took me a while to get my head around that because I thought, here's somebody who's in a class that certainly has suffered, and he's of an age to where he lived definitely through some times where it's not as open as it is now. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it was pretty shocking. So anyway, I just had to bring that out because it was like, wow. I think this happened while you're gone. I love this. So there's these 2 police officers in Kentucky and where you were born. The husband is like a detective and then the wife is still in uniform. And I saw them on TV the morning after it happened, which was so funny, but they went out to like this place called Raising Cane's. And it's chicken place.
Yeah. There's a few of them in town. My daughter,
we have them here.
Yeah, there's one in Apple Valley, and there's one at the U. It's pretty much chicken tenders, fries, toast, and this amazing sauce. Now, if you were raised on chicken tenders, these certainly are amazingly above, like nuggets or from McDonald's or any place else. But to me, it's just like, okay, it's another chicken nugget. But no, my daughter and her friends go there a lot.
Okay, I've never heard of it. So, well, they just went out for date night and they were eating chicken and they saw this guy come in and start to rob the store. And the surveillance video from what happens is they put their chicken, they slid, they both stood up, he went forward, they both drew their guns, and she was like covering him. I mean, it looked like a textbook, like an exercise, whatever, and they caught him.
For this dub, doing the dub. That's,
it was so cute.
Just looking at that coach, damn, all we want to do
was have
some dinner, have some chicken.
Yeah.
And now we got to deal with this asshole.
Right. Right. Oh my God. And then when I saw him on TV, because, it's black and white surveillance video, we saw him on TV. What a cute couple. Oh my God. But yeah, they arrested his ass and now they get free chicken for a year, which,
yeah, that could be a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
It is to me.
Yeah. No, they were adorable.
I'm adorable couples doing stuff together.
Oh,
I got to watch. I was on a trip, last week with a lot of my friends, and they're all couples. 3 of us are not couples, but I was going through there, and I just got to watch everybody being so adorable together. I mean, it didn't bother me, But
was
really,
it pukey?
Oh no! My friends were good. What was annoying was the fact that the resort we were at is so set up for couples.
Yeah.
That they could not get it through their head that I was traveling alone. So when I'm like, you get room service breakfast is delicious. It's better than other. It really is. But they have like 2 sets of flatware. I said, there's only one of me. 2 coffee cups. There's only one of me. I've been to other resorts from this company, and usually after a day they get it. But this place is so ingrained with coupledom, they were unable to stop doing that. And I'm like, oh, come on. But it was.
Why didn't you take your guy?
What? Oh, just timing. There's a blood donation. He does apheresis every 2 weeks. By the time, if we booked it, what if there'd been a Zika outbreak or something out, and then he couldn't do that for a year? Other stuff going on, and we travel. We've got a couple of other trips planned too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
you didn't feel bad, did you?
Oh no. I mean, honestly, it was nice to. I mean, even though I was traveling with a bunch of folks on place, there was still a plenty of alone time. The best part, though, was a bunch of us were always getting up early no matter what. So we were the beach bed acquisition team. So we would get out and get the beach beds, and so everyone was all there and we were nearby.
Very nice.
And then there was someone named Maria who brought us mojitos.
Ooh.
It did not suck.
I bet.
And then
not.
I get to come back to a broken van, a broken HVAC, a broken app.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, crumble, 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 crumble.
Yeah.
But it's, I deal with that. And then I get to go to Mexico with my friends.
See?
And I'm like, it was lovely. And it was my friend's birthday. And we had a wonderful time. And it was really nice.
Very cool.
But it was just all sorts of people were just so adorable.
Well,
it really was. It did. And it just doesn't bother me because I got plenty adorable at home.
So my brother has been dating this woman for like a year and a half, and we really like her. Like, we really, really like her. And I said offhandedly to my sister the other day, I said, well, what's our brother doing? And he said, her voice like changes, and she goes, he and his girlfriend are having a stay-at-home and cuddle day. And I sat there and I just threw up in my mouth. I mean, it just, like, who tells people that? Like, oh my God. And I haven't seen him, and I haven't had a chance to just go.
I mean, honestly, I could
gag.
If my brother or sister told me that they were going to have a stay home and cuddle day, I would be, one, fascinated for my brother because I'm pretty sure that he doesn't actually know how to sit still.
Okay.
Maybe when he had his hip replaced, he sat still for a little bit.
Okay.
That'd be about it. And I know my sister, I mean, she sort of doesn't know how to sit still either. So just to stay home. Plus, it's tax season, and my brother-in-law's an accountant. So, there's no,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm not sure that phrase would come out of either of their mouths.
Yeah, it was to me as cringeworthy as thinking about your parents having sex. I just didn't.
See, from the outside here, because then I go, honestly, that's sort of cute.
Ugh. Gag.
Why not? I mean, if it was a couple of 16 and 17-year-olds when they were having their first puppy love, would it be just as cringeworthy? Or the fact that someone's in their 50s? They're not allowed to be cute?
They're in their 60s, but...
They're not... Okay, they're 60s and they're not allowed to show
they're
affection
actually
to each
allowed.
other?
I just don't want to know about it.
You just want to know about it,
Okay? Like, knock yourselves out.
Oh, no, yeah.
Cuddle away.
It was an entire resort of going to a resort and cuddling. Seriously.
You must have a stronger gag reflex than I do, because mine's pretty weak these days. So if you're Catholic, the Catholics out there, Lent is coming up.
Oh, no, we're in it.
We're
right
in
now.
it. Are we in it? Okay, we're in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last week was Fat Tuesday. Was that?
Okay.
So Shrove Wednesday was Wednesday. So we're a week and a half into Lent.
Okay. Well, then you see how much I know about Catholicism, obviously. So this site called Wallet Hub decided to list the states and rank them by vices. And so I just have the top 20, but we'll post the
Okay.
We'll post.
I thought you were going to say for the best fish fries.
No.
That is one of the most lovely little things about Lent is you can find some great fish fry specials on
very
Fridays.
True. Actually, that sounds good.
I know.
Yeah. So, but they rank the states with regard to their vices, and we'll put the whole list up on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. You can read the whole deal. But okay, so I'm only going to tell you the ones that are associated with one of the deadly sins.
Okay.
So Nevada was number 1 for greed. Texas was number 1 for lust.
I figure with Texas barbecue, that would be gluttony.
No. So, and gluttony is not in the top 20, but what's so funny, so Nevada's number 1 overall. Texas is number 2 overall.
I mean, they do have Sin City in it, for God's sake.
Right? Okay. So then Georgia is number 5 overall, but number 1 in jealousy. And Mississippi is number 10 overall. And that's, but they're number 1 for laziness. Now, the 10 least sinful states.
Okay.
Vermont, Wyoming.
Well, there aren't enough people in them.
Idaho, Maine, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Iowa, Utah, Minnesota, North Dakota.
I mean, honestly, these are the lowest population states.
Well, Minnesota's up there a little more.
Oh, hell, we only have about 4 million people in the whole state.
5.
5 now?
Yeah.
Okay, I lost track.
Okay.
Okay, so what is but did it say? I mean, it says it was low, but did it say what Minnesota's vice was?
No, these are the least sinful states. So they weren't. They just the top 10 least sinful. So Vermont is the most virtuous, apparently.
That's impossible. They have ice cream there.
Well,
that'd be glad to be there. Ben and Jerry's is there. I've been there. It is a delicious tour.
Okay. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But honestly, they also don't have anybody there, so they're sad.
Yeah. Okay. So John Oates, Daryl Hall, and John Oates. I don't know if they've been unseated, but for many, many years they were the top-selling duo of all time. And they're probably not too far out of first place even now if they've been unseated. But there's an interview in the New York Post with John Oates, and it's kind of funny. He was talking about being a rock star in the 70s and the 80s, and he said, honestly, there's no way you can comprehend how many women, he goes, it had to have been in the thousands that he slept with. And he said, it was just different.
They're lining up, right? I mean, how do you say no, especially before,
Yeah. And there were he says, I love this line, there were no cell phones and people taking pictures of everything you did, no social media.
Yeah.
And, he's 71 years old now. And he says, it was a lot more innocent then, if that makes sense. He said, I used to meet girls in various towns and sort of have a relationship. I might see them and then see them again in 6 months. And he said he and Daryl Hall stayed away from the cocaine and all
Which
of that.
Is probably why they can still sing.
Probably. And and he said, no, we're not ever going to do a farewell tour because they never turn out to be a farewell tour. So we're not going to do that.
Well, one of them, I don't know which one it is. I saw one of them is a big, huge. Is it him? It's a big, huge Star Wars geek. One of them has just like a whole. I think it's one of the has a whole bunch of just like the most action figures ever and a whole bunch of things. I mean, might be Daryl Hall. One of them is major Star Wars geek.
Really? That's funny.
I'm pretty sure it was one of them.
I have to say, we talk about fetishes on this show a lot. Want to hear one of my phobias? Collections. Massive numbers of things that need to be dusted.
Oh, no, maybe it's Rick Springfield. It's the same I think it's Rick Springfield.
Okay.
See, now I'm going to have to Google later. But yeah, I think it might be Rick
You're going to need it.
But I always loved, it is the Daryl Hall and John Oates. I mean, that's high school and college right there for tunes. It goes on.
Oh, yeah.
And you get about some of the when I'm not like a mellow mood, but I still want some lyrics. I'll put on like Yacht Rock and a couple of or the Bridge.
Yeah.
And I just giggle.
The only problem with Yacht Rock, I had that, because it comes out, it's a seasonal one sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it online all the time.
Oh, okay.
But yes.
In the car last summer, I put it on because I thought, well, let me check it out. Every single time I checked in on it, they were playing the Pina Colada song. Every single time.
That's some amazing timing because they go through chunks. Like last summer they had
happened like 10 times.
Last summer they added a few songs. And I'm like, I think they're probably reaching in their concept of Yacht Rock just to try and break it up a little bit. Let me tell you.
God. Okay, I feel really sorry for the subject of this next story because she's a landlord, okay? She owns a condo and she had it rented out and her renters just bailed and squatters moved in.
Oh, no.
And left guys' underwear, sex toys, and all sorts of really disgusting things.
No. You take care. You dispose properly of things with bodily fluids, but these did not.
Nope. And they stained all the carpets and left along a snake in a cage that did not have a lid. So she had to spend.
Okay, honestly, I think the snake would. I'm holding this away from me. Sorry. I think the snake would freak me out more than the underwear.
Or the sex toys.
I mean, honestly, I mean, there'd be gloves. I mean, I don't, because other people's sex toys, but snake. I mean, one, it's like living, but and I don't know enough about snakes to know what's a good snake or a bad snake. I mean, snakes all have their.
Cost her 2 months in rent, lost rent, and untold amounts of money. But it's almost even worse to try to get a squatter out than it is a renter. that you have a contract with. So I feel really sorry for her. And just, that's terrible.
It's really bad because, I mean, honestly, if they just left the place a mess, it wouldn't even made it things. But once again, you add the sex toys.
And now it's a story.
Right? It's going through there like it's, like that's it's just as bad if there's no sex toys there. If someone just leaves bodily fluids around and underwear and a snake. Maybe the snake would have made the story anyway because it's a living thing. But I don't know.
Just rotten people. And in other inappropriate bodily fluid usage, an Alaska-based airman was punished for reportedly peeing in an office coffee maker. This happened at Anchorage Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. Many details still remain mysterious at this point, but he violated 2 different articles. And honest to God, dereliction of duty for failure to refrain from urinating in the office coffee maker.
Folks, keep your bodily fluids to yourself unless there's some consent going on there. And I'm pretty sure there was no consent here. And especially nowadays, just keep your bodily fluids to yourself.
Well, okay, and here's the thing. It's one thing to go where you're not supposed to go. And in Alaska, I would think you could find some open space, which still isn't cool.
No.
But, there is a designated spot. But if you can't find any place other than the coffee maker, I think there should have been premeditation added to this. Because that wasn't easy.
I have some major issues with overactive bladder and various other things.
You wouldn't piss in a coffee maker.
It has never occurred to me that I would pee in the coffee maker.
Even if you had a penis, right?
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest, guys have all sorts of more flexibility.
It is much easier to do that. Write your name in a snow. Although I do have a friend that was very good, female, directional, and managed to write her name in the snow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I'm watching what it would look like, and I'm imagining.
There was some arching and a little
and you'd have to go really bad too.
Yeah.
To make there's I love these. I just love these stories. 207 AD, Hadrian's Wall, Cumbria. Roman soldiers basically they carved penises everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's the unsolicited dick pic.
Yeah.
Is not honestly a new thing. The fact that you can get it to someone faster and it's a little more realistic is
very
new.
ubiquitous as well.
Yeah, yeah. But seriously, there's Egyptian. There were friends that just traveled all through Egypt and Jordan, and there were plenty of pictures of penises that they found.
Ancient Romans thought the phallus was a symbol of good luck, and I think that all men think that. Not just Romans.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think that's pretty much universal in all ages.
Yeah. And they said one of the scientists commenting on the story said, "Hey, this was a Roman symbol for good luck, so you can tell that to your friend the next time you draw one on his face when he gets drunk and passes out at a party." It's a good luck charm.
There's, I think that researcher there revealed something about himself and his friends in that statement.
Who said they're stuffy? Archaeologists have fun too.
Yeah, I would guess so. I bet it's a lot more fun when you uncover a mosaic or a frieze or a carving when you see something naughty in it. I bet you there's just
isn't more fun when there's something naughty?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That just that would just be so much fun. I found another dick pic.
Yeah, yeah, ancient
fun,
Roman dick pic.
Yeah.
Speaking of dick pics, really, I think you psychically picked up on the next story.
Okay.
A woman got a revenge on a man who sent her unsolicited dick pics by pretending she had a porn blocker on her phone that immediately sent the snaps to the cops. So this gal, she's 23, she got a friend request from the guy and accepted because they knew some of the same people. But pretty soon he started complimenting her and all this kind of stuff. And she said, look, I've got a boyfriend. Can we just be friends? And then a couple hours later, 3 dick pics come through. And followed up his lewd message by saying, do you like it? So she and her boyfriend looked at the snaps and decided that they'd prank him. So she wrote back and said, sorry, I can't see the pictures. What did you send me, a meme? And he said, not exactly. And she goes, well, I have this porn blocker. It's obscured for me, but whenever something comes through, it goes immediately to the police in my local sexual crimes against women unit, which probably means they already have pictures of your face because of your profile. You should look into getting a lawyer. And he freaks out and blocks her. And so anyway, they got laughing about it, but she said, God, I didn't think he'd actually fall for it, but that made it even more awesome. But
that's effing brilliant. I can't believe something like that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You should have an immediate forward,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't follow professional soccer, aka football, as most of the world refers to it.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going.
I know it's huge
in sporty land.
I know it's big deal. But there is a story that we are going to post, and if you understand it and you like it, the story will crack you up. But long story short, this one striker's name is Schlong. He pulled out a win by literally scoring a goal with his dick. And the quotes...
So it ricocheted. Thank God for wearing a cup.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. But one of the commentators said, Schlong may have just scored with his cock, a long cock goal. And somebody goes, for fuck's sake, man, how is he scoring against us? And how is it with his cock? I mean, everybody. And the poor guy was holding his crotch. But everybody didn't feel sorry for him because, A, he won and, he gets bragging rights.
He gets to play football with his dick.
Yeah.
That works.
I don't know if his dick was consenting, but...
Yeah. Well, the cup at least. But I'm sure that if it did ricochet or whatever, that was probably not comfortable. No. Mm-mm.
This is different.
Okay.
A Kansas man claiming to be unlucky in love is offering a $25,000 reward for setting him up on a date that leads to his having a girlfriend.
Oh, just a girlfriend, not even marriage.
47-year-old Jeff Gebhardt.
I mean, how long do you have to be the girlfriend?
It doesn't say.
I mean,
But the girl doesn't get the reward. It's the matchmaker.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But still, the two folks could certainly, how long do you have to be the girlfriend? I mean, I would say if you're going to do a reward, it's got to get to the I do part. And see, $25,000 is not enough to get fake married for, but it is enough to have a fake girlfriend for.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, he lives in Prairie Village, and he said, after his last breakup, there was some pretty, miserable failed attempts at dating online. So he's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and again. So I decided I was going to try something different. So they've created a website, datejeffg.com, and they use surveys with personality analytics, trying to find a date. And people who suggest the women for him could win the money. But if a woman suggests herself, she's not eligible. Yeah, and he might be trying to avoid prostitution laws there, too.
Yeah, it could be that way. Oh, I like it. I mean, why not? Honestly, I've tried everything else.
I mean, you could spend that just online dating. Mm-hmm.
That much? Yeah, I mean, suppose
over time.
If you go out on enough dates, I didn't think any folks charge, but I suppose there are some more premium services, right?
Oh, my husband tried one here in town called It's Just Lunch, and I mean, it was like $6,000. He said,
"Really?
Yeah.
How much?" Well, that was one of the very first sort of semi-online set you up things. I remember that from eons and eons ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he hated it, not only because it was so expensive, but they set up the dates. You did not get to see the pictures or know anything about the people. And they were all just wrong. They were all just wrong. And he was very disappointed. So, this isn't really all that risque, but the fact that it made a news story, I'm going to bring it up. A grandma, and she's only 59, Mandy Jones, got a naughty angel tattoo on her butt after 2 failed marriages and finding the love of her life a few years back. And he's 52, so she's kind of a cougar. And, she's just celebrating her sex life and decided she was going to commemorate it with this angel on her butt.
Angel tattoo, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, what is a naughty angel? Is it like a naked angel?
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's got boobs. I don't know.
A sexy angel, a cherub.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of. I have really, a really good imagination, and for the life of me, the word naughty does not. If he would have said nude or like biker angel or an angel like a Betty Page angel, anything.
Oh,
I can come up with a lot of different things here, but just naughty angel, that is way. That's vague as hell.
Yes. Oh my God, I just remembered something.
Okay.
I'm going to a burlesque show on Friday the 13th. And when you said Betty Page, it just reminded me of it. Sorry.
Oh, good. Well, now you won't miss it.
Yeah. I mean, it's on my calendar, but that just...
I haven't been to a burlesque show in a while.
I don't think I've ever been to one.
So many wonderful performers in the Twin Cities. I'm sure you're going to have a great time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, this one's in St. Cloud. We're going with our lake friends, but it should be really fun. I've never seen one, so I'm excited. This is a story that I have seen popping back and forth up. There's a lawsuit that's moving forward, and it's in Connecticut, and it's girls suing to keep transgender athletes from competing. So it's the family of 3 female high school runners, and it's a federal lawsuit seeking to block trans athletes in Connecticut from participating in girls' sports. And I've seen this girl, Selena Soul. She's a senior at Glastonbury High School, and there's a couple of nonprofit organizations in there. And they're saying, look, mentally and physically, we know the outcomes of these races before they even start. And the biological unfairness doesn't go away because of what someone believes about their gender identity. And the line is, this is a violation of Title IX, and all girls deserve the chance to compete on a level playing field. What do you think?
Well, it depends on whether with or without hormone, because once you start taking hormones, it does change someone's physical being. So, like I said, this is one of the things that they have not figured out in courts yet, and lawsuits like this are gonna try and figure out the best outcome for the most people. For going through there. But if someone is if someone has truly gone through hormone therapy one way or another, it does drastically change your body. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't, there would be somewhat of an advantage, especially in sprinting. But it has been shown over and over again that long distance running, women actually fare better. Mm-hmm.
Well, but biologically straight though, if you compare marathon times, women are still slower.
Oh no, like over the time. Yeah, it was just something recently. A study I read on long distance. Was it in the? I picked up. Was it the Science Discover magazine? I know. I pick up one of my things when I go on trips is I pick up scientific magazines and read through them.
Of course you do.
Well, I gotta have something to do on the airplane. After I wipe it all down, mind you. Believe me.
My God, did you totally?
I had these ever been to the doctor's office and you see that little tub of TB Oxelver wipes that they have?
Oh, okay.
I actually have those in the office here. We use them. Been using them for years to wipe down phones and stuff at the stores and all that. On a regular basis, and. But I think I've mentioned before that I got in an airplane years ago and the seat was actually in the overhead bin dripping with vomit.
Ugh.
So my standards for flying are exceptionally low. I would really like the seat to not be visibly dripping in vomit.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that they don't clean.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even before all this stuff going on, I bring wipes. I wipe down the seat.
Were other people doing it too?
Oh, yeah. Seat belts. I offered my seatmate one. She goes, oh, I have some. They may have just been using baby wipes. This is kill everything wipes that I have. But the screen in front of me, the seat belt, the buttons, the overhead buttons, the armrest, anything that's hard surface, that sucker got wiped down. And I do it. I've done it ever since I got vomit seat.
I think that's brilliant.
I do not travel without wiping this stuff down the tray. Yep. We've seen people change kids' diapers on the freaking tray.
Ugh.
No, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for years, but it was, oh God, it's like 10 years now because, yeah, my daughter was 10 or 11 when we went on this trip and came back with a, vomit seat. So, like I said, my expectations for flying are the fact that I am going to be surrounded by, literal crap. Mm-hmm.
Ew.
I cannot understand how people wear flip-flops on a plane. An airplane bathroom is disgusting. I wipe that down too.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
A respected Catholic figure who worked to improve conditions for developmentally disabled people for more than 50 years is now said to have sexually abused at least 6 women during most of that time. They're talking from 1970 to 2005. Usually,
are we talking about the folks that were helping or other people in the world, who was doing this on the...
Not on
separate things, but not the clients.
Right, not the disabled people.
Yeah, that's the one thing. People can do good and bad things.
Yep.
And I was going through there.
Yep.
But if you continued, yeah.
Yeah. So he had been hailed as a living saint during his lifetime. He is now deceased. He died at the age of 90. But they're still uncovering people coming forward, and it's just too bad.
No, that's it. I do think it's going to be fascinating, let's say 50 years from now, if there really truly is a lot less sexual abuse because a lot of it's happened for centuries because people were embarrassed by it, shamed by it. They were attacked for it if you were the victim. And that is, in the past 10 years, is going away. So 50 years from now, is it obviously? I mean, it's more difficult to be an asshole now because people can video it on your phone.
Yeah,
you don't get as many prank calls now because people have caller ID.
Well, we get spam calls.
Spam calls. But I'm saying you don't get. And so when you take away the thing about no one's going to believe you, you're going to be shamed. If once that's the weapon.
That's actually a very good theory.
That's the weapon, I think, just saying, no more, that's it.
I mean, I think people will still do it.
They'll still do it and stuff like
that.
But
a great deal of it it's not going to make it so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so easy anymore. This guy, I'm so glad he's facing honest-to-God criminal charges. TSA, Transportation Security Administration agent, was kind of being inappropriate. No, very much being inappropriate with a woman. Per this criminal complaint, 22-year-old Jonathan Lomelai has been charged with false imprisonment by fraud or deceit after he tricked a traveler when she was going through security at LAX. The woman told investigators that he told her he had to look into her bra to make sure she didn't have anything hidden. She says he also asked her to pull her pants away from her waist so he could peek down there too. Then he said that she had to go to additional screening in a private room. While they were in the elevator, he asked her to lift her shirt up so he could see her breasts, which he complimented her on, peeked inside her pants again, and then told her she was good to go.
She doesn't... She I mean, obviously...
Well, she doesn't.
Probably doesn't travel a lot, but I mean, it's supposed to be same sex to begin with. So there's your first clue. Now, I'm not going to blame her because not everybody travels, not everybody knows this stuff. But I'm actually quite surprised that they actually managed to prosecute someone because almost every time you hear about completely inappropriate behavior, they always get there. We're following, they were just, they're like they seem to be shielded somehow. So you have to be this egregious before somebody actually gets their... They're
so mean. I mean, I got yelled at by one. It was a very busy security line, and I had, computer. I had multiple bins, and I was trying to move fast because there was people and all this kind of stuff, and I forgot to set my phone down.
Because you're so used to having it in your hand.
And I went through the thing, and he started screaming at me. And I looked at him. I said, "I'm sorry. It was a complete mistake. I was in a hurry." Blah, blah, blah. And he just kept yelling at me, berating me. And it's like they get away with so much shit. It's not fair. And I mean, really, did he have to do that? I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, their job is dealing with the public, most of who have no clue when they're coming through. So if they can't deal with that, but then again, like any other business out there, they are so shorthanded. No one has enough employees. Doesn't mean you get to be, that should be someone that's doing a job not in the public.
Yeah.
There's got to be a job that's not just going through there or stick them over there. Because, I mean, I had a pair of I'm like, I beeped going through. I do not wear, I had these little tiny earrings on that you can see.
Yep.
Very tiny earrings. I have no underwire bra. I have no belts. I had on leggings, so there was no zippers or buttons. And somehow I beeped. There was a little bit of decor on my shoe.
Really?
And I had, because that's the only thing that made noise. Because this was coming back, going through security to get on the plane in Cancun. No problem going through there. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. Yeah. And there were so many questions on the way. Not as much on the way there, on the way back. Have you been in China? Have you been near sick?
Oh.
Have you done? They were really, they're trying to figure out stuff was going on.
For sure.
But I was like, my shoes peeped. So I had to do the whole thing where, you stand their arms out and they wand you. And I'm sitting there like, my shoes? He's like, it's got to be, there was almost, there was a little bit of sequin on it, but then it must have been just enough to beep going through. But I'm like,
well, and that's fine. And you know what? Good for them for being thorough.
And he was, and
was he pleasant?
Oh, yeah. Reasonable. I actually had no problem. I mean, I was at the airport at the freaking butt crack of dawn to get there. And that was lovely. But I also had I've done the trusted known traveler thing. Mm-hmm. We walked through, no one in line at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was
great.
Going through there.
That's great.
Did really well. On the way back, nope. I can do the little... I don't have to go through the biggest line, but as I go through the line, I get my little slip of paper, go in, and I forgot the guy was sitting there in that line. He was like, was he unwrapping some candy? He was doing something, and I didn't since he wasn't looking up, I didn't see him. Like, he goes, need that paper. I didn't even see you there. He goes, but I saw you.
Oh, that's funny.
But it was, yeah.
And you know what? They're fine. If they're pleasant, they're easy to deal with. But
airports, I've never had a problem with. Crossing into Canada, U.S. guards, assholes. Canadian folks, lovely. But they almost. I've never had a pleasant person going into Canada. I mean, the U.S. person coming back in.
Yeah. Well, I've had so many crappy encounters with TSA. I remember one time too. I mean, it's like, I don't like it when they delight in hoping to make you miserable. Mm-hmm. And I had this one where I had it was some beauty item that it looked bigger than it was supposed to be. And he grabbed my my plastic bag and he goes, "What's this?" And I said, "Well, it's my whatever." And he gives me this look like, And I said, "What, did I make a mistake?" He goes, "We're going to find out." It was like he was dying to take my shit.
I know.
And then and I'll shut up after this because I'm getting on a rant. Mm-hmm. But the other one that made me mad was I went down to Florida. This was like 2005 for one of my nephew's weddings, and we had to puddle jump. And so it was in the little airport before we were going to get to Miami to fly out. And I had my suitcase there, and this TSA guy or whatever picks up my suitcase and puts it down. And he starts putting on his gloves real slow and looking at me, and he goes, "What am I going to find in here?" And I looked at him and I went, "My clothes."
Are these the folks that never got dates in high school? Because I've noticed, honestly, I do think that they tend to hassle women a little bit more because most women are gonna have more stuff.
Yeah,
and they're also gonna be more distracted a lot of the times with kids and that sort of stuff. And and I really do think these are the same folks that probably do the incel stuff online, and then they found a way, or they're the folks that. They get a job in local government just to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, and he just kept looking at me, and he's like running his fingers on the inside of my suitcase and doing all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I just stood there, and he's like, "There's no cocaine in there." And I'm like, I've never touched cocaine, you doorknob. I mean, they're mean. I don't like mean people.
Yeah.
A Scottish politician is under fire and this would be a Scottish National Party member of Parliament, and her name is Mary Black. and the way that Mary is spelled is fantastic, but I'm not going to bore you with it. She took a drag queen to an elementary school to read to children. And
they do that right here in Hennepin County.
Okay, but FlowJob is famous for really bawdy stuff online. FlowJob. And parents were pretty upset that they, that this was a controversial performer, and they kept responding, "Oh, your homophobia is transparent." And they're like, "No. You don't have to take a cartoon of a gay person. That's not the same thing." Anyway, there's a big old fight. What do you think?
Right here in Minneapolis, they have a drag queen reading hour. And a few folks got upset about it, and local Hennepin County commissioners were like, yeah, they can all go jump in a lake. I mean, this was perfectly reasonable. They do some fun stuff. Most of the folks that do drag are amazing performers. And it's not as though, someone is forcing their child to go and listen to the folks reading. And I'm pretty sure no one there was forcing them to bring their children to the library to be read to.
Well, no, it was in their classroom. Like, they went into the different classes. So, and you know what? I'd pay money personally to go see a drag queen read children's books myself.
Yeah.
But
okay, if you're going through there. But if you're, there were probably other ones, but folks could have chosen. But for the most part, in the whole scheme of the world, it's little pearl clutching, whatever. Yeah,
pretty much. Well, we do a little bit of that around here.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back. And we'll be back next week.
Sounds good.